Hello, it's me, Godzilla, and today I am reviewing the movie that we all knew was coming. This, Godzilla's Revenge. Oddly enough, there's no revenge in the movie. So why was it named like that? I don't know. What I do know is, this movie has a lot of negative reviews, which is understandable, but there are some good things about it. Let's start with the negative stuff. The negative stuff being that this movie was trying to do what the Gamera movies were doing in the 60s. Not the smartest thing to do. But hey, it's for money, so they did what they wanted to do. Another bad thing about the movie is that they used so much stock footage in the fights. So much shameless stock footage. It's really sad, really. I wanted to see new fights. New fights between Godzilla and his enemies. And some of the enemies that he fought in stock footage were Ebirah, Kumonga, and Kamacuras. And a few cameos from other monsters. But for the most part, the stock footage is... It's just... I can't even describe it. Now, as for the human characters, the main character is a kid named Ichiro, pardon me. And, well, I don't know what to think of him. Many would consider him annoying. I can lean towards that, but not to such a high extent. I mean, the kid is bullied all the time, and he has an imagination, so that's something I can appreciate. But I don't know what to think of the kid, or any of the other kids. The bullies themselves, I think they're way too childish, even if they are kids themselves. But as for the rest of the human characters, there's not much to say. I guess you could like them. I mean, they don't do anything that's, immensely dumb or anything. The two robbers, yeah, I guess you could like them. They're kind of similar to the Home Alone bad guys. But let's get to the monsters themselves. We have too many monster cameos that are stock footage, which is sad. But the three main monsters are Godzilla, his son Manila, and Gamera. Let's talk about Gamera. He looks ridiculous, but that's what makes him so awesome. Gamera is a very unique and somewhat stupid character, but he's also so dumb that it is kind of enjoyable. I enjoyed watching Gamera, and his power is pretty good too. The power to grab enemies and electrocute them with your hands. That's a pretty neat power. The only odd thing I find with Gamera is that he doesn't have a tail. I don't know. It just seems weird for him to not have a tail. It's off-putting a bit. But aside from that, his design is not all that bad. Now, as for Manila, he does fairly well. He's a bit more cowardish. How do you say it? He's a bit more of a coward in this movie than in previous movies. That's kind of shameful, since we know that he can fight his enemies, like Kumonga. But I guess this is all part of the moral that the Ichiro had to learn. As for Godzilla, even in this movie, he's still a pretty badass. And when the fight between Godzilla and Gamera ensues, it's a pretty decent fight. It feels more realistic than his previous battles, which is kind of strange to say, but it feels more like the two humans wrestling. And I just don't know how to describe this movie in general. It can be bad for all the stock footage and human characters not being the most interesting out there, but the humans are not so bad, and the stock footage can... Well, there's nothing we can do about that. Now, as for the fight scenes that were choreographed in this movie. They're pretty good. They're pretty good fights. And the music is silly. The music is very silly, but it is very entertaining to hear. That's the one good thing I can really say about this movie. 100%. The music, as silly as it is entertaining. So, I really don't know what to say much. Other than, one final thing about this movie is that this movie is almost nostalgic. As bad as it may be, it's nostalgic. When I watched this movie for this review, I thoroughly enjoyed it. I know it was bad, but I still enjoyed it. It's a nostalgic movie. That's all I can really say about it. So here are the points that I'm going to give this movie. 1 for the music, 2 for the nostalgia, 3 for Gabriel himself. As dumb as he is, he's still pretty fun. And that's all I can really give it. Also in the little important moral to learn. But I want to give it 3.5 out of 5. It's not a perfect movie, definitely not. But it's entertaining, it's nostalgic, and it's just fun to watch. That's all I can really say. So 3.5 out of 5 for Godzilla's Revenge. And I'm sorry I haven't made a video for a long time, but a review video, but I'm back. So see you guys next time when we tackle the smog monster.